A refreshing change of pace, Joey Graziadei has received high marks while serving as the Bachelor. The endearing tennis instructor has a gift for putting an end to drama and never forgetting that his main goal in life is to find love. However, after his group of possible wives was reduced to the final 3, Joey G faced some fresh difficulties during the crucial fantasy suite round. And after spending some quality time with his remaining competitors, Joey is forced to make his hardest decision to date. First, the good news: Joey's fantasy suite episode didn't involve any dumped people in Tulum. The unfortunate news is that one competitor almost fractured her jaw, while another appeared to be prepared to go out on her own. Although all 3 of the women accepted their invites to the fantasy suite, it doesn't imply that their wishes were realized. First of all, Rachel ended up in the hospital following a date in which they jumped off progressively higher platforms, resulting in a facial injury. We would want to let the producers of The Bachelor know that not every date has to feature daring stunts that could kill you for the 4th millionth time. However, Rachel made a full recovery and ended up staying the night with Joey. As did Kelsey, who also declared her love for the professional tennis player. However, after having some doubts the next day, Kelsey ended up leaving Joey with a foreboding letter that said they needed to talk. Sounds awful. While Kelsey refrained from providing specifics, she did note that a conversation that needs to be had precedes the rose ceremony. She informed the producers, "I would rather leave now than have my heart completely broken." Is Kelsey getting ready to issue a command to Joey? Will Daisy be able to unseat Rachel as the front-runner as a result of all this anxiety? If Rachel starts to hear an odd clicking sound whenever she chews, will she sue ABC? Check back later to discover out. Let's review how we arrived at this point in the interim. One of the hardest challenges every bachelor must face is the hometown round. Joey saw 4 very distinct families last night while visiting 4 very diverse places. An sad rose ceremony, when Joey had to make the painful decision to say goodbye to Maria, concluded the episode. When they visited her family's house in Ontario, Maria claimed that she wanted to tell Joey how she really felt for her, but she became frozen. "I have a deep affection for you, and I know that it will only get stronger." Maria, looking agitated, remarked, "I'm glad you're here." Before the rose ceremony, she pulled Joey aside in an attempt to put things right. "I feel like I didn't do it in the best way saying goodbye to you the way that I did," Maria confessed to Joey. "Because, as I mentioned to you, I can see myself falling in love with you, but I can't help it because I am already in love." Unfortunately, Joey sent roses to Daisy, Kelsey, and Rachel, who will now move on to the fantasy suite round, because it was too little, too late. Joey had to make yet another tough choice, as the other competitors traveled to picturesque Jasper National Park in Alberta to experience a very different side of Canada after taking in the rush of cosmopolitan Montreal. The 6 women knew that only 4 of them would be moving on to the crucial hometown dates, so tensions were at an all-time high. Joey and Maria had arguments during the vacation, and Joey refused to give out roses for the group date. Nevertheless, Maria, Daisy, Rachel Nance, and Kelsey A. were included in the final edit despite the tension. Naturally, this implies that 2 of the women, including the captivating Jen Tran, were fired. Although Jen, a Hillsdale, New Jersey, physician assistant student, did not win Joey over, she was well liked by the audience. Another fan favorite, Kelsey Toussaint, was also sent home last night. Actress Kelsey, from Inglewood, California, captured the hearts of Bachelor Nation with her tragic tale of how her father severed their relationship when she went to college because it went against his religious convictions. Fortunately, Kelsey has a bright career ahead of her with appearances in Barbie, How I Met Your Father, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania to her credit. Overall, Joey had another demanding week, but because there are now just 4 ladies left, he is getting closer to meeting his match, pardon the pun. The guy is undoubtedly accustomed to giving heartfelt goodbyes by this point. Let's examine how we arrived at this stage. In week 6, Joey and the surviving women left for Montreal. While Jessie Palmer and Maria demonstrated their linguistic skills, Joey bid farewell to a number of candidates using simple English. Unexpected detours were taken on the journey, as two of the women decided to leave early. Following all of that, two more competitors bid goodbye in a rose ceremony. Yes, it was yet another challenging week, but Joey is still determined to find his partner in mixed doubles. Initially, Jess Edwards was fired in what may have been the cruelest breakup of the season thus far. Though Jess was smitten with Joey, their feelings were simply not reciprocated, and he decided to throw her out on the spur of the moment. Lexi Young left the scene later in the episode, displaying a level of maturity and self-awareness that is uncommon for this show. She was aware of Joey's desire for a protracted engagement and his intention to wait a few years to start a family before getting married. Lexi was hoped for a quicker timeline because she's had health problems that could influence her fertility. As a result, she left without taking offense. Joey said goodbye to two more contestants, Caitlin DeBacker and Leah Kayanen, during the rose ceremony. Lee's elimination is good news for Maria, her opponent who may have recently overtaken her for the lead. Whatever the situation, we're definitely nearing the end with only 6 ladies left. After blazing since the first week, the fight between Sydney and Maria finally came to an abrupt conclusion yesterday night. Joey arranged a winner-take-all 2-on-1 date where the victor would get the first rose of Malta and the loser would be eliminated after hearing each woman tell their side of the tale. Thankfully, Sydney, "Can I talk to your manager?" had an outcome that made every sensible viewer sigh with relief. She sent Gordon back to her kitties at home. Furthermore, let's face it, we can't help but feel terrible for those unfortunate cats. We'd like to think that Joey made the right decision in ending the most senseless rivalry in Bachelor history. Unfortunately, though, Leah has made the decision to continue where Sydney left off, harassing Maria without cause. Because of their inherent politeness, Canadians like Maria may be unfairly at a disadvantage in shady competitions such as this one. The previous week's show revolved around the rivalry between Sydney and Maria as well, but at the conclusion of that one, both ladies won roses and advanced to the next round. 3 other women, though, were not as fortunate. First up, we say goodbye to Delray Beach, Florida-based mental health counselor Star Skylar, who likes to drink fiery margaritas and flaunt her Britney Spears impression. We barely know you, Star. Krissa Perez was another impressive competitor who did not get a rose in the 3rd week. In Joey's initial pool of contestants, the 26-year-old from Abbotsford, British Columbia, was one of 4 Canadians. Hopefully, there won't be any kind of global scandal over her firing. Lastly, we had Evelyn Clark, a 28-year-old resident of San Antonio, who was maybe the most unexpectedly eliminated of the evening. In week 2, Evelyn's competitive nature attracted Joey's attention as she jumped over a table during a bridal musical chairs game. She had the same determination to succeed when, as a member of Team Lobster and Butter, she displayed some amazing tennis talents. Unfortunately, it appears that Joey and Evelyn weren't connecting in the end. Hey, at least she can blame Sydney and Maria for taking center stage and ruining the pool party for her removal. Lauren, one of the competitors, made the decision to withdraw from the tournament last week for private reasons. The group date with a wedding theme proved to be emotionally taxing for her because her father had died just 7 months before the shoot. While Lauren said farewell to Joey with tears in her eyes, she also reminded him that since her sister was still competing, they might run across each other again during the hometown round. Following a contentious cocktail party marked by a great deal of nervousness and a brawl that Maria correctly called dumb, Joey conducted his 2nd rose ceremony. It's his least favorite aspect of the job, he claims, and Joey's anguish was evident when the ceremony came to an end and he had to say goodbye to 3 more competitors. Erica, a 25-year-old leasing agent from North Bergen, New Jersey, was the first to say farewell. Marlena, a West Palm Beach-based finance journalist, arrived next. She is 26 years old. Ultimately, Joey broke up with Chicago-born recruiter Taylor, who was 23 years old. Although rose ceremonies are usually melancholy events, Joey was undoubtedly aware that he would have to break several hearts going into this one. While it's a bit early to start casting votes, several of the competitors, like the endearingly quirky Maria, have already solidified themselves as the clear favorites. Unfortunately, though, a good number of would-be brides were turned down before they had a chance to unpack during week 1. Just hours after meeting the women, Joey had to make a lot of cuts, which couldn't have been easy, but after a long cocktail party and a lot of planning, he narrowed the group down from 32 to 23. Chandler was the first to go, sent home in spite of how well her name would have matched Joey's. May Matthew Perry rest in peace. When they initially met, the 24-year-old New York graphic designer made Joey giggle, but it doesn't appear like they clicked romantically. Kayla, a 27-year-old guidance counselor from Ohio, was the next competitor. She may have been too kind for this tournament. There, things get really ruthless. That leads us to Miami-born paralegal Kyra, who is 27 years old. She appeared to be a bundle of sunshine as well, but Joey didn't seem to be into her. Perhaps he looks for partners who have a little edge. Sandra, a Nashville-based cybersecurity consultant, age 26, and Lainey, a Philadelphia-based realtor, age 27, were both sent packing. Along with Talia, a 23-year-old esthetician from Huntington Beach, California, and Samantha, a 25-year-old professional football cheerleader from Miami. Sam H., a 31-year-old CPA from Nashville, was also sent home. The elimination of Atlanta-born artist Zoe, 24, who had become an early fan favorite, was one of the most unexpected eliminations from the competition.